Hello and welcome back to Asia Now. My name is Alex, and in this video I'll tell you about 3 foreigners deported from the Philippines. The Philippines president meets with the South Korean president, changes to Thailand visa procedures, a highway collision involving a foreigner, and scandals in Singapore and Thailand, plus much more, beginning with our USD to peso exchange rate. Right now, $1 equal to 56.32 pesos. Let's jump straight to our main story. The Bureau of Immigration Philippines announced that it is set to deport 3 South Korean fugitives who were arrested in September in Pampanga and Rizal. These individuals, now on BI's blacklist and banned from re-entering the Philippines, were involved in separate criminal activities. Kim Hyun-ju, 45, was arrested in Angela City for his role in a voice phishing syndicate in South Korea, defrauding victims of over 10 million won, that's around $74,000. Woo Soo-hong, 46, was arrested on the same day in Angel City for running an illegal online gambling site. And Kim Hyo-jung, 44, was apprehended in Tai on September 19th for fraud, blackmail, and having deceived victims by falsely promising visa processing services. All 3 fugitives are now awaiting deportation. Koreans are becoming in the news for illegal activity a lot more recently, I've noticed, in the Philippines. I know there's a lot of them in Cebu specifically, but I guess, when there's a lot of population of any kind, there's going to be some bad apples. Speaking of Koreans in the Philippines and South Korea signed several agreements on October 7th to enhance cooperation in maritime affairs, infrastructure, energy, and other key areas. This took place during South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol's visit to the Philippines. Key agreements include collaboration between the Philippines and Korean Coast Guards, a feasibility study for the Bataan nuclear power plant, and major infrastructure projects. The 2 countries also agreed to elevate their relations to a strategic partnership. Both leaders emphasized cooperation in areas like security, digital technology, and energy. South Korea acknowledged the historical support of the Philippines during the Korean War, strengthening their bond. In 2023, South Korea was one of the Philippines' top trading partners and a significant source of foreign investment. And also a significant cultural influence right now in the Philippines. There's a lot of Korean influence from K-pop, K-drama, music, all these things that are going on, festivals, concerts, people dressing like K-pop idols. South Korea, for the past 10 to 12 years, has become extremely popular all around the world, not just Southeast Asia. Next up, in Cebu, the Office of Ombudsman has lifted the preventive suspension of 32 local officials in Bohol, including 5 mayors, in connection with the controversial resort built within the Chocolate Hills protected area. If you missed the story a few months ago, maybe even last year by now, I can't remember, probably a few months ago, there was a resort built in the Chocolate Hills. I'm surprised the people that wanted to build that resort and the officials that actually gave those permits, I thought that was going to be a good idea. It's a complete eyesore, very noticeable, and everybody knows those hills are protected, so I'm very surprised that even went through until somebody blew the whistle, and so I'm glad that they shut that down. Staying in the Philippines, the Bureau of Customs Port of Manila seized around 2 million pesos worth of onions from China. In a press release, officials said that the shipment of 25,000 kilos of onions lacked the required sanitary permits. They cited the importance of inspection and safeguarding public health and the agricultural industry. Very interesting. I never once thought I'd be buying onions from China that was smuggled in, but I guess where there's money to be made, there's going to be some criminals. I wonder if this actually affects the price of produce in the Philippines, which I think is a bit high, at least from the supermarkets. But then again, this should actually reduce the price, right? Supply and demand. Anyways, regardless, I'm glad they caught the shipment, because sometimes when you sneak in stuff like this, like produce, meats, and all that, you can transmit and bring some diseases or whatever, some weird vegetation that can overtake the actual surrounding. Let's go on to our next story. Staying in the Philippines, the United States gives additional 485 million pesos aid to advance basic education. The fund will finance the U.S. Agency for International Development project Advancing Basic Education in the Philippines, or ABC+, which aims to improve literacy and math skills among Filipino children. That's great news. The more we can go ahead and support people for the education, the better. Then again, I'm not an American, so I don't know how an American would feel regarding their tax dollars. If you guys have any information regarding this particular story, or if you just want to share your thoughts on any stories I covered so far, leave them down below. If you take your time to write it, I'll take your time to respond. Let's go ahead into our next story. Let's head on over to Singapore. Singapore billionaire Ong Beng Seng has been charged in a major government corruption case involving former Transport Minister Ong, who owns a hotel property and holds the rights to the Singapore Grand Prix, allegedly gave luxury gifts, including tips and event tickets, to Iswaran, who was sentenced to 12 months in prison. Ong is accused of aiding and acceptance of these valuables as obstruction of justice. This case has gained widespread attention in Singapore, known for its commitment to clean governance. Ong's next court hearing is November 15th, and he has not yet entered a plea. Oh, wow, 2 days in a row I'm talking about Singapore and criminals and corruption. In the last video, we talked about how that one person of the official, I guess in this one as well, got sentenced to 12 months, and now Ong has been basically giving him gifts and such. Let's see how many months he gets in prison, if any. Billionaire? If I was a billionaire, I don't know, man, I'll try to play within the rules. I'd assume I have an amazing life, and I don't want to give that up. Staying with scandals in Thailand, but first let's go ahead and talk about some Thai visa before I tell you guys about the scandal. Getting a Thai visa in Southeast Asia is becoming more high-tech as several consulates switch entirely to online e-visa application starting next week. Consulates in Vietnam, Malaysia, and Cambodia will no longer accept walk-in applications, while those in Laos and Myanmar will continue in-person services but require online appointments. Consulates in Indonesia, Taiwan, and the Philippines will maintain traditional operations without the need for the appointment. Applicants must be physically present in the country where they are applying for the e-visa for those seeking their year-long multi-entry non-O visa. So keep that in mind. If you're in those countries, you have to apply online now for your Thai visa. Let's go back to scandals and that bus fire that took the lives of over 20 people. A major scandal has emerged in Thailand's coach bus industry, revealing widespread corruption in Land Transportation Department's vehicle inspection process. Some companies reportedly paid bribes of 3,000 to 4,000 baht to fast-track inspection. This issue gained attention after a tragic bus fire that took the lives of 23 children and teachers, where illegally installed gas tanks were discovered on the vehicle. Investigations showed that some buses were on the same company had more gas tanks than legally approved, increasing the risk of passengers. Although some companies claim inspections are thorough, others admitted to paying bribes to avoid long queue during registration renewal period. Despite the media reports, no officials have confirmed the allegations. Incredible. I hope whoever was in charge of inspecting, whoever is involved in this tragedy, I hope they all get like the maximum penalty possible. Next up, in the early hours of October 5th, a motorcycle carrying 2 foreigner nationals crashed into a tree on Jomtam Second Road in Thailand. This is in Pattaya, resulting in the perishing of a man and critically injuring a woman. Local authorities arrived at 5 a.m. to find the motorcycle heavily damaged after hitting the median strip. The male rider in his late 20s was pronounced not alive at the scene, while the female passenger in her mid-20s was rushed to intensive care. Witnesses report the motorcycle was speeding before losing control and crashing. Police are investigating the incident, focusing on factors like excessive speed and possible alcohol involvement. They plan to review surveillance footage to determine the cause. The area is known for frequent accidents, especially at night and early morning. If it's known for it, come on, why can't they do something about it? Officials, Pattaya, it's like so many stories. There's so many stories I can't even cover because of YouTube guidelines, but that place, I don't know, man. I love Pattaya for different reasons. I go there for the beautiful beaches, the secluded beaches, the private beaches, the food, and just like the vibe. But the night stuff and the alcohol, listen, man, I understand fully, but we got to do it responsibly. Things are so inexpensive. Just hire a taxi, man. Like, it's such a tragedy to lose a life over maybe trying to show off, or who knows what happened, but be safe if you guys are drinking in Pattaya. Let's stay in Thailand and foreigners. A Danish man caused a lot of trouble at a hospital in Bangkok on October 7th. Early in the morning, he became very upset and hurt himself with a knife. He put himself with a surgical knife. Luckily, police acted quickly and the doctors were able to help him right away. This wasn't the first time he had caused concern. The night before, he hurt his leg after falling from a fence. Even though people tried to help him, he kept refusing. A kind German passerby finally convinced him to take a taxi to the hospital. Later that night, police had helped him again after finding him on a rooftop, where they safely brought him down. Buddy, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? People, what's going on? What are you taking? What do you want? Come on. Go eat something. Go to a nightclub. Go to a park. Go see Mudang. Do something. I told myself I won't talk about Mudang, but oh well, it happened. And now it's time for our segment called Yesterday Today, where we take a look at some of the most popular comments regarding yesterday's video. So yesterday we talked about some reasons why people love to live or retire in the Philippines, and here are some of the top comments. Griffin says, I'm not retired. I moved to the Philippines for opportunities I did not get in the US. A lot of people here speak English. The cost of living is awesome and the people are nice and the culture is perfect for me. I have a wife and a son. Living here has changed my life. I do not have to deal with the stress of the US. I met so many positive people who want to do business and startups. I love it here. Excellent. I'm happy you're happy, bro. Ocean Earth says Philippines is an adventure. The raw, gritty side of this country makes every day unpredictable and exciting. I find it more exciting in the Philippines versus Thailand because there are so many undiscovered islands to explore. Yeah, over 7,000 islands. Fantastic place to go ahead and discover something, adventure, find yourself, do whatever you want. Really, the Philippines is wonderful for people that really want to dig deep into any culture. Smoke God Zesto says, beach is nice, people are nice, people are genuine and less stressful. If you retire in the state, majority of the location is either a concrete jungle or in the suburb. There's a lot of nice places, but come on, comparing to islands and beaches, life there is no comparison. And in reality, it's an adventure. And the fact that there's no language barrier, cost of living is not the first reason most people retire in the Philippines. There are a lot of places cheaper. It is the beauty and the country that captivates people to retire in the Philippines. If you guys haven't seen that video, go ahead and check it out. I had a lot of fun making that one and sharing people's answers of why they like it. If you guys like this video, take a second out of your day, hit that little thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.